Why do we try to reposition as seemingly bear markets are developing? And the answer is, well, in years like 2002, 2008, 2022, maybe you include COVID in there, an active trend-oriented rule-based approach is going to start eliminating or getting out of risk positions that are statistically starting to go down. And if they go down a meaningful amount, then to start layering in short positions over time to try to be on the right side of these big downtrends. If you don't do that, then you end up with 35, 45, 55% drawdowns and a much lower annualized rate of return. And it takes years to claw your way back out of that. For many investments, that's how it operates. We're trying to have a more all-weather absolute return type experience. And that means making less money on the upside, during the blowout bull market years, but also just preserving capital and managing risk on the downside. And that requires, either preparation or reaction, take action. And that's what we do with systematic trend following. So in those years where the markets actually get traction to the downside and there's a real bear market, this pays off. Historically, this approach, I think, has worked better at compounding wealth and reducing downside. If it's not going to develop further into a real bear market, if it doesn't deteriorate further and the market recovers and starts to rally, we have to unwind those positions. And we do that slowly and methodically over a several-day window. If what was going on in April actually developed further into a real structural bear market, which is possible, all it required is some more disagreement and some more politicians digging their heels in. And then corporations would have started cutting CapEx spending and stuff like that. That could have developed into something meaningful in a different timeline. And then those positions that we put on would have been highly profitable, and we might have had a very large up here, or maybe we would have had less positive return, but stock and bond portfolios would have been down 20 for the year. It didn't work out. And that's fine. We're glad it didn't. We don't want the world to look like that, but we know that it can. We know that it has in the past, and we want to be prepared for it. So every time it starts to show its ugly head, we get defensive. We do the things we need to do. And when it doesn't work out, we close those positions out and move on.